G'day and welcome back, and thanks for joining us once again. Right, let's get cracking. So in this episode we'll start off down at the Gordon Dam, which is an amazing piece of construction down there, quite incredible. And from there we'll come back to New Norfolk, which is just out of Hobart. We visit Salmon Ponds, and from New Norfolk we head down to Geeveston and we do the Tahune Airwalk and our most favourite hike since we've been in Tassie, and that's Mount Hartz. It was an incredible hike. Conditions were not great, but we enjoyed it so much for some reason. From there down to the southern end of Tasmania, right down to Cockle Creek, and we do the hike down to the most southerly accessible point of Tasmania. There is a little bit of Tassie that's a bit further south, but you can't actually get to it. So that was quite a walk, 16 odd K, and the weather really set in at the end of that walk, turned it into quite a miserable hike actually. And that's about it for this episode. So sit back and I hope you enjoy episode 5 of our trip in Tassie. So today is an official day of rest for our feet and our legs. We decided we would minimise our walking, and we've come for a drive out to Strathgordon and the Gordon Dam. Thought we'd come and have a look. It's about 86 kilometres from where we camped at Mount Field, and it was a really lovely drive.
Beautiful.
Half of it's through the forest and then half of it's through the hills. It's gorgeous. So far out, have a look at that. Wow. So this is the Gordon Dam. We'll show you in a second. Wow, that's truly impressive. There's a lot of stairs to get down there. Holy moly. Oh, this is one of those things that makes your knees go all jelly. Holy moly. Wow, that's incredible. This is amazingly spectacular, if not slightly terrifying.
Oh, they should make this glass.
Oh, I don't think I'd even do it if it was that. My knees are going all jelly. You might be able to see, you can walk up on the other side there. You might be able to walk up on the other side and then walk around to that lookout.
No.
Wow. So we're on the stairway down to the dam, and there's quite a few steps to go down and up again. So Lisa down there on the dam wall, bravely looking over the side. She's looking a little bit tentative actually. Can't blame her. So there we go, completed in 1974, 140 metres high.
This railing should be another foot high because you just have that.
The urge to jump?
No, just but look behind you at this staircase coming down.
Oh wow.
Straight down to
nowhere. Yeah, that's it. It is.
That's what makes me feel when I stand.
Oh, it's quite awe-inspiring, isn't it? Wow. Don't do what? What do you think I'm going to do?
Don't go near it. Oh, it's just frightening.
It is
absolutely
amazing.
Frightening.
It's quite incredible. We're almost there. 196. 196 steps. Wow. Because we weren't high enough before, we thought we'd come a little bit higher and get a good look at it. So here's the back of the dam.
But they've got a good sized fence here, so you don't feel
That's it.
that
Don't feel like
urge.
you can swan dive off the ledge here and hit the water without too many problems at all. Well, that was really impressive. We're just waiting now for our genitals to drop again because
Well, mine don't drop.
well, hopefully not, because that got everything twitching, that's for sure. That was quite an experience. That is an amazing piece of construction. That's just incredible. Okay, let's drive home. Looks like we just beat the rain. It's coming in over the mountains again. Rightio, after the Gordon Dam and our great stay at the Mount Field National Park, we were looking for somewhere to hide during Easter. And so we headed out to New Norfolk and we found a place there called Attitude Place, I think it is. You'll find it on Wiki. $15 a night. And it was really good. It's just basically in someone's backyard, but they've got a really great communal fire pit there, and it was a really good feeling. So we sat out east of there because the weather was shocking. And while we were there, we went out to Salmon Ponds, which was a really nice spot. So here's a little bit about Salmon Ponds. We're in Salmon Ponds today, which is only probably 6 or 7 kilometres out from New Norfolk. And I don't know why they call it Salmon Ponds because the ponds are full of trout, but anyway. You're not going to be able to see them, but there are some huge trout in there. We'll go up where these people are feeding them and we can see. Yeah, I'm not sure if you're going to see these things here. Maybe if I stick the camera under water. Jeez, they're going off. There's some crackers in it. Look at the size of some of these things. This is the Trout Fishing Museum. What I would call paradise. Lisa would call hell. So as well as having lakes full of fish, oh yeah, it's beautiful. The gardens here are gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. And it's only $8 to get in, so it's not a ridiculous price like some of the places that you go to. Gee, I wonder what that tree is. The colour of it is amazing.
It's a little bit boring, but it's a little bit boring.
This is the woman that will stand on the beach for like 10 hours without catching a fish.
This is boring, you can't even put a line in.
We've been in the Tasmanian Angling Hall of Fame yet. We found our first platypus. It's over on the other side of the stream. You won't be able to see where the ripples are. Just here, Lee. Beautiful big tree here is a silver elm. Just got very excited. There's a chestnut tree there, but they're Spanish chestnuts. They only have tiny little seeds in them. So we're still looking for some real chestnuts.
Sweet chestnuts are the edible chestnuts.
Are they? Sweet chestnuts, okay. Well, I don't think we're going to find any here, unfortunately. Anyway, Salmon Ponds. It's really nice spot. There's barbecues and everything all around the place, so you can obviously bring your own picnic lunch and cook up a barbecue here. But for $8 for an adult, and I'm sure what the kids were, something cheaper than 8 anyway. Yeah, it's worth a visit.
$2 for a little thing of food to feed the fish.
That's it. Bring a $2 coin, and there's dispensing machines just at the front, and you put your $2 in, and you get a cup full of fish food. So make sure you bring a couple of $2 coins. Easter Sunday this morning, and it's a beautiful morning after a fairly tempestuous night. It wasn't that tempestuous really, it was just lots of rain. Lots and lots of rain. And there's even snow on Mount Wellington this morning, we could see from where we were staying. So this morning we thought we'd get out and go and stretch our legs and have a walk along the river. The beautiful Derwent River. It is really pretty, a really pretty little river. So anyway, looks like there might be a bit of rain on the way. Luckily we bought an umbrella. So we're just walking along the esplanade, which runs sort of at the back of the New Norfolk Caravan Park. Oops, almost walked into a fence. It's the caravan park just there. So we're just going to go for a stroll. We haven't done any walking for the last few days, so we're having withdrawal symptoms. We've been hunkered down with this bit of a rainy 3 or 4 days, but we'll be on our way again tomorrow. We're heading south all the way down to Southport, I think it's called, or maybe even a little bit further than that. We'll see what the weather's doing.
Pretty chilly.
This is a beautiful path walk along the Derwent River. There's a look up the Derwent River, looking up towards New Norfolk. As I said before, it's a really pretty little town right on the banks of the river. Well, we have no idea where we are really, just on the outskirts of town. But It is just so pretty. It's a big exercise area. Looks like it might be the soccer grounds. Very pretty. We're in Geeveston and we're staying at the back of the Geeveston Ex-Service Men and Women's Club. They've just got a big paddock here out the back next to the stream. And when we arrived it was reasonably busy, but everyone's cleared out. There's only 3 of us here now. But there's room here for a good couple of dozen caravans. Some of the locals here. About a dozen ducks swim in the paddock. But this is the camping area. So there's some nice shady spots. If for God knows whatever reason you want to get out of the sun, you can park in under the trees. Or failing that, there is plenty of space to park up. As you can see. This is us just over here. Feel sorry for the poor bloke we ended up parking next to. He must be scratching his head thinking the entire park is empty and you had to park beside me. But they're gone most of the day anyway. So there we go. The Geeveston Campground Ex-Service Men and Women's Club, $10 a night. And there is a toilet here if you need to use that, but they do like you to be self-contained. But it's fine. It's a great little spot. We love a good firewood pile. So we're at the Tahune Adventures Skywalk, Treetop Walk, Forest Walk, something. Comes highly recommended, and there's a few walks to do here apparently. So it's about 25 kilometres or 28 kilometres out of Geeveston, which is just south of Hobart, about 80k south of Hobart. And I think it's about $30 to get in, but we'll confirm that for you now. So we'll just get in the queue and buy ourselves a ticket. Okay, so $32 each?
Yes.
$32 each. Looks like there's 3 major walks here. One's half an hour. The Treetop Walk is about 40 minutes, and then there's the final one, which is about an hour to go around. So at the moment, we're heading across the Tahune River, and it is ripping out. That's a lot of water flowing down there. So the first one we're going to do is the Tahune Pine Walk. It's about a 30-minute walk. Compulsory tree hugging experience.
It's just a bit damp.
A bit damp to hug. It's a huge eucalyptus. Proud to be tree huggers.
We are tree.
We love tree hugging.
We do like them in a fire as well. So.
We're torn between hugging them and burning them. Everything's got to have a multiple purpose.
That's caravan.
So this is pretty cool. So what they've got here is a variety of all the trees that are grown or that are in this area, sliced down to show you what their timber actually looks like. Which is pretty cool. So the famous one is this one here, the Tahune Pine. Cool. Great idea. That's the Tahune Pine Walk. That was quite interesting actually.
Lovely.
Nice little walk. And now we're going to go up and do the Treetop Walk, which is just up there in the elevator.
No, I just don't want it to be one of those tree.
Oh, like the Gloucester tree?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's like that. You can just see it up there. Story goes, 2019 they had a massive fire, ripped through this area and destroyed a lot by the looks of it. So a lot of this forest is regrowth since 2019, so 24 years old. Be interesting to see how it's going, but it would be devastating. On the drive up here, you can see the extent of that fire was just incredible. It would have been devastating, as all large forest fires are. Okay, got some steps to climb now. I need to make a correction. I did say fires came through in 2019, and so they were 24 years ago. So I'm generally not appalling at maths, but it's only 4 years. Only 4 years ago. I did say 24. Slight miscalculation. How far apart do we need to be?
1.5 meters.
But I sat closer to you than that in the car.
obeying the rules.
That's a great photo, actually. Okay, here we go. This is the start of the treetop walk. Not like the swinging bridge. Oh, it does bounce a bit
We've
though.
got a few swinging bridges. Feels solid.
So the sign down there said they planted, after the fires, they planted over 8,000 trees to try and help the forest regenerate. This is pretty cool. So we're at 18 metres above the ground here, and they're saying you can see how hot the fire was. That the charred bark on these trees goes up to 55 metres above the ground. So she was a fairly ferocious fire. Oh, I'm being summoned. So here's a great idea. This is a wishing tree. And so what you do is you toss a coin over, and if you can get it to stay on top of that stump, you can make a wish. Or your wish will come true. They guarantee that.
But look at all those gold coins. How many loads of washing can we do with all that gold?
Oh. See? Everything has a second purpose. You can... What a waste of
Maybe
laundry
we should
money.
Drop a coin onto the wishing tree. But there's lots of little kids go along that walk.
Oh, I bet there are. A lot of kids go on Fossick there looking for coins. This little kid might even have a crack at that later on. They need to top up the laundry money box. She's getting braver and braver. Walked out here to the edge of the cantilever. Whoa, it bounces a bit, doesn't it? Oh, right. It's a bit bouncy. Woo. Wow, what a great view.
Oh, you made it bounce.
She's bouncy. That's looking up the Tahune River. Bounces and sways and swirls and...
Don't.
Okay, we're at the end. That was a great walk, that. You can see the cantilever section of the treetop walk that Lisa bravely marched out onto. The swinging bridge. It's got a small tribe of gorillas that have just gone across it, so we're just waiting for them to move on. Shows you how fast the water is running down this river, down the Tahune River. Have a look at this. That's a lot of water. That's it. Laps are completed. So we arrived at 12:20 and it's now just gone 2 o'clock. So what's that? Hour and a half.
We didn't hurry.
Didn't hurry, just a slow meander. But make sure if you come up, bring your lunch. There's a really good cafe here that do burgers and all that sort of stuff, so you can get a hot drink as well if you want to. But bring your lunch, make a morning or an afternoon of it, because it's quite a lovely place and deserves some support. And don't forget the golden rule, exit through the gift shop. Alrighty, we're on our way to Mount Hartz, but we've got a couple of things to do first. The first one is find firewood.
A definite.
That's a definite. There's so much firewood around here, but there doesn't seem to be anybody selling any. So we're hoping
Good business to get into.
Oh yeah, selling firewood in Tasmania. So we're hoping the survey has some. If not, we're going to have to drive back to Huonville. Apparently at Mitre 10 they sell it there. And the other thing is we've got to try and find a coffee. But there's I think there's some lovely little cafes in town here at Geeveston. So we should be able to get a coffee, no trouble at all. But the priority,
of these trees?
Oh, yeah, the beautiful maples.
Sorry.
Okay, let's just have a look at the survey, see if we can get some firewood just here. Okay, we've just arrived at Mount Hartz, H-A-R-T-Z. Drive up, it's 14 kilometres off the bitumen, and the road's a little bit ordinary. It's fine if you're in a four-wheel drive with good tyres.
Well, that 14 kilometres taken us 40 minutes.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a bumpy road. There's lots of potholes, that's the problem. Lots of potholes, so take care. But in saying that, there's probably a dozen two-wheel drives up here, so you can certainly do it, no trouble at all. Just take your time, or give yourself a little bit of extra time getting up to the top, because the road is not the greatest road in Tassie. Okay, let's get out and go for a walk. So here we go, Hartz Peak, 3 to 4 hours return. and we'll see what it's like. If it's too wet and drizzly, we might just go to Hartz Pass and be satisfied with that. So we'll see how... Oh, you know, we haven't got walking sticks. Got the walking sticks. Don't ever go without your walking sticks. Invaluable. Just go and grab those. We had someone say that they had snow on the ground here a couple of days ago, so there's just some remnants of it here. So it goes to show you how cool it is, the fact that it's still there. Oh, we can build a snowman. There we go. Shoes are clean.
Way to go.
Bit of a wet, muddy start to the trek. Seems like the river runs down the pathway. Apparently, there's a bit of boardwalk here. Apparently, there's quite a lot of boardwalk, so we should be out of the water shortly. A little misty, little drizzly, a lot of fog around. But the amount of water running off this hill is quite incredible. You can probably hear it in the background. Just streams everywhere. Certainly feels like we're in the alpine territory.
Rainy.
A bit misty. The altimeter is telling us we're at 945 metres above sea level. Not quite high enough to poke our heads above the clouds, unfortunately. One of the amazing things in the national parks here in Tassie are these walkways. That they put these walkways in most of the parks we've been to, and the main reason is it keeps people on the one track, so it stops people trying to bypass the wet and muddy bits and end up with dozens of tracks through the bush, which is not good for the environment. So they stick these paths in, keeps everyone on the track, and looks after the place. But huge amount of work to put these things in. It's quite incredible, and they go for kilometres sometimes. You feel a little bit of a cheat when you're walking on them. You don't feel like... But the alternative is not great, that you'd be tromping through the marshes. And you can probably see here, this pathway here, this is what happens. You end up with dozens of these pathways if they don't put the platforms in. So good on you, Parks Tasmania. We appreciate the effort. It's quite remarkable, some of these pathways that you have. And they certainly make walking very easy. Talking about the amount of water running down off this hill, it's quite incredible. It's no wonder that Tahune River is absolutely pumping. This is just gorgeous here. We just passed a couple of walkers wearing shorts, and well, they were clever enough to have jackets on, but be smart, people. The weather, there's signs everywhere that tell you the weather can change in an instant. Up here in the alpine country, it can go from pleasant to perishing in the gust of a wind. So be prepared. Don't come out and do these hikes in the high country unless you're really ready for a weather change. Am I right, Lise? You bring your bikini?
Yeah, just for a quick dip.
Quick dip?
Wouldn't matter, no one can see anyway.
So this is called Lady Tahune, and as we found out previously, Tahune is lake, and where we're going is up there somewhere. I think there it is over there, or maybe it's over there. Could be over here. Not really sure where it is. It's out
Can't see it then.
Out in the mist.
We'll see.
We'll see. We'll go. We're not far from the start of the ascent. Sounds like there's some people coming down. Can hear some voices, so I'll just get the drum on what the conditions are like, but I would imagine fairly cloudy would be the answer. But we'll just see how slippery it is getting up there.
More coming down.
Yeah, that's right. Coming down. Going up's not too bad. Coming down is a different story. Okay, let's get back on the main. I guess we've decided to go up then. Yeah, okay. Nice and easy. Just past a young family coming down. They said there's lots of ice up here. So we'll see how we go. The bulk of the climbing done, but certainly very chilly. You can see the ice on the ground where Lisa is there.
Deep too.
Yeah. But we are going that way, to the top of that hill, maybe. Well, we're 9/10 of the way there now, so I can't see Lisa backing out now. Beautiful weather.
Stunning weather. We'll just keep going though. Might as well.
Oh.
No,
You're a bit close. Can you back a little bit? Okay, I'll put it back. So Lisa Hillary, climbing to the top. We're just over 1,000 metres. I think we're 1,050 metres up, and it's, I think the top is 1,250. So still a bit of climbing to go. A couple of hundred metres up. So looking at this peak here, I believe there's another peak after that one yet. So push on. It's just amazing how much water is running off this mountain. Quite incredible. Hey, it's only just up there, apparently. We've pretty well run out of path. There doesn't seem to be a marked path from here at all. Normally there's a stick jammed into the rock somewhere, but can't really see anything at all. But we might just, it looks like it might be a bit of a rocky can just there up in front of us. So we might just push on up just along the edge of the bushes here, and that's going to get us up towards the top side. The sun is trying to get out desperately. Coo-wee. So we're going to get up to that point up there, and that will do us, I think, because you can't really tell what's a path and what's not. It's amazing how the rocks have changed. So all of a sudden it's this little tiny bits of shale, whereas just over there they're quite large. Okay, we'll push on up. Is that a bird that just squeaked? Hey, how good is this? Okay, we're only about 20 metres from the top. Let's get up there. Here it is, the last 5 metres. Don't fall now. I kind of get the feeling that we're lucky we can't see anything. Okay, there's a job to be done once you've got some stable ground there.
Wahoo!
I'm still filming.
Oh, that was my finger. To the top of the peak. Yoo-hoo!
Because she's not competitive at all. Don't knock it over. There we go, we're done. Just stay there, Lisa. So we're just going to have a little drink of Staminade and a muesli bar or a lolly, and then start the trek down. So we're at 1,259 metres above sea level, so right on the peak. Hopefully the cloud doesn't get any thicker because visibility is dropping. So we'll start the descent. 2 hours exactly it took us.
It is frizzling.
I don't know how you can say that, it's stunning.
It's freezing.
Right, I'll get your gloves out. 2 hours to get to the top. They say it's about a 4-hour return trip, so it's pretty good. There we go. We're about halfway down. It's getting warmer. It must be almost 7 degrees now.
Icicles on the little trees here.
Yeah.
And the bushes.
The bushes have just got ice crystals on them. So pretty. Every now and then the cloud parts and you get a bit of a glimpse into the valley. But anyway, we've still got a fair bit of descending to do. How long we've been going now? Got another hour. Another hour to the car park. Okay, this is the tricky bit here. Coming down these slippery old rocks.
This is the hardest bit.
Yeah, by far. Look at this, the sun's coming out, skies are clearing. It's looking beautiful. You've got to love that.
Snow up there on that mountain.
Oh, you can see the snow, yeah. When you look across the horizon, out across these mountain views, and everything's got that blue hue to it, it's just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. But looking back the way we've come from, you can see, well, it's still beautiful looking this way, but when you look past the beautiful, still clouds.
Looks like a drowned rat.
She's not looking, she's not looking her best, I must admit. I didn't want to say it, but I must admit she's not looking her best. But it's been raining and windy and everything, so under the circumstances, you look beautiful. Oh God, your nose is cold. All these people that post on Instagram and YouTube and TikTok and all the rest of them, these women that say they don't use any filters and they don't wear any makeup and that's just their natural look, well, it's rubbish. This is what it looks like when you don't have any filters or any makeup.
I'm trying to find that filter.
That's reality. Well, we made it. So this is the visitors centre at the start of the walk. It's quite impressive what they've got here. To sign out. So there's a decking all the way around the front. You can sit outside and enjoy the view. Incredible. Rightio, where are we? Okay, got to sign out. So we're all signed out, back safely, boiling the kettle, and I have a nice hot cuppa, and cheese and Vegemite crackers.
Hey, you got meat as well.
Have we? Gourmet crackers. Rightio. From Geeveston, we headed down to a place called Cockle Creek, which is right down at the southern end of Tassie. And you can do a walk from Cockle Creek out to the most southerly point in Tasmania that's accessible. There's a little bit that's a bit further south, but you can't get to it, too many cliffs or something. Anyway, Cockle Creek, unfortunately, is the only place that we have been to in Tassie that didn't quite meet expectations. It certainly didn't meet all the hype that it's got in Wiki. Anyway, this is Cockle Creek and our walk out to the southern tip of Tassie, and we also did a beautiful walk the next morning as well along the beach, which was fantastic. So have a look at this. Okay, well, you know how some places really live up to the hype, and you get a bit worried. You think, gee, everyone raves about this place so much, I hope it's as good as everyone says it is. And so far we found that most spots in Tassie have absolutely lived up to the hype. They've been wonderful. So now we're in a little place called Cockle Creek, and it's right down on the south end of the island, and there's a hike that goes from here across to the south coast, and I think that's the major attraction here, is the hike to the south coast. But Cockle Creek in Wiki gets rave reviews. Everyone reckons it's a fantastic spot. And, well, I beg to differ. We are in, and I reckon this is probably one of the better campsites here as far as space and levelness goes. And this is our campsite. It's just a mud hole, very uneven mud hole in behind the bushes. Very scruffy, and this will be one of the better ones. There's just, I just am flabbergasted as to why people rave about this place. The road in is pretty ordinary. It's a dirt road and it's full of potholes and just muddy and ordinary. And then when you get here, anyway, maybe we missed the turn off. I don't know what happened, but I just don't see the appeal of this place at all. There's nothing like, and we went to all the campsites and trying to find a decent campsite, and there's just nothing. It's not as though they're busy and they're full. They're just rubbish. They're really uneven, and at the moment half of them are underwater. And anyway, so we're just going to have some lunch. We're going to do the hike to the south coast. We'll probably stay the night and then we'll get out of here. We'll head back to Southport, I think, or Dover, one of those places. But anyway, big thumbs down from me for this one. So this is what we're here for, the South Cape Bay Trail, 4 hours return. So it takes you to the most southerly point of the South Coast track. Not quite the most southerly point of Tasmania, because for some reason they didn't do that. 4 hours return, and some discrepancies. Some say 16 kilometres, some say 18 kilometres. So we'll just have to go by the 4 hours return. See how we go. One of those bushes full of berries. Hey?
That's just a piece of wood or something.
Swim in there.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a crocodile. Crocodile's in Exmouth. How about that? Crocodile at Bundeegi in Exmouth. That's not good news that they're making their way that far down the coast. That'll cause some concern amongst the local tourism operators. Okay, let's go. So 7.5k we've done, and we can hear the ocean. It's not that far away, so we're almost at the turnaround point. Just negotiating a lot of mud at the moment. The first 3k was pretty muddy, and then after that it's been quite level and good. Most of it platform walking actually. So anyway, we're just cresting the dunes here, and hopefully the ocean is not that far away. Clambering out of the mud to the great Southern Ocean. The last 50 metres is a swamp. Right.
Some green.
Should have bought a board. Look at that. Nice little break. So here we are, standing on the, well, it's the most southern part of the Great Southern Trail, but the most southern part of Tasmania is that thing over there. But we're eating our Tassie apples, and there's a shower of rain moving in, which is very Tasmanian.
We're used to it.
It's quite beautiful. It's so good to hear the ocean again. It's been a long time since we've heard the ocean. Fantastic. But I don't think we can afford to dawdle because we've got a 2-hour walk to get home. It's 4:45, so it'll be 4:45. Might be a bit slower going home, I think.
Just in time for wino time.
Yeah, perfect timing. So it'll be about 5 o'clock by the time we get home. Took us just over 2 hours. 2 hours and 6 minutes to get here. And it's just over 8 kilometres, 8.03. So it's going to be a big walk by the time we get home, 16k. Shall we push on?
As flat as we make them.
Oh yeah, well, it's not too bad though. Okay, let's
Push on, Macduff.
push home through the mud. We just stumbled on a lyrebird putting on a bit of a performance. He was just deep in the scrub, so we could just get a glimpse of his tail. But just have a listen to this song, and it went on for about 2 minutes or so. Have a listen to this. disappearing into the bushes. The frogs have all just started singing. Hopefully that doesn't mean that the rain is pending, because it is looking quite ominous out there to the, what direction would that be? It must be to the north. But I'm sure a little bit of rain's not going to make a huge amount of difference to this track. It's a quagmire anyway, so it should be okay. 1.5k. Been a slog this one, hasn't it? More frogs. Well, it looks like the frogs are right. For our last kilometre, it's going to dump on us. Just adds to the appeal of this track, doesn't it?
Oh, now it's moving here.
Here we go. Ah well, at least there's only a kilometre to go. We can enjoy the serenading of the frogs. Is it the ocean we can hear, or is that the wind in the trees? Wind in the trees, I think, because we are camped on the ocean on the northern side of the bay here. So I had a question asked, let's get away from the jetty. I had a question asked about power and whether solar panels will keep you going while you're down here in Tassie. So our experience, and I know other people will probably have different experience, our experience is that solar's not going to get you through. So you just don't get enough sunshine in the day to keep the batteries topped up. And we've been doing probably 60-40, so 60% of off-grid camping, 40% plugged in at caravan parks. But I'd say we can normally go about 2 days, and then we've got to drag the Jenny out. And most of the free campsites, you're allowed to run a Jenny. Just be considerate when you do it. Because as I said, you just don't get the sunshine just to keep your batteries topped up going solar alone. So you will definitely need a plan B, whether that be a generator or more frequent visits to caravan parks. That's up to you. But yeah, you won't get by on solar alone unless you fluke it and you get 3 weeks of beautiful sunny days. Chances of that are pretty slim. So yeah, you need a plan B for power, as I said, whether it be a Jenny or more frequent visits to a caravan park, because you just won't get through otherwise. Okay, since the sun's out, there it is over there, in case you don't recognise it. We're going to do a walk. There is a lovely 5.5k walk out to Fisher's Point. So that's it there, Fisher's Point walk, 2 hours. Might as well make the best of the weather while it's nice. Just a note on this trail, it is apparently quite tidal dependent, so you need to do it on a fairly low tide, or it needs to do it at low tide, not at high tide, because you can't get around the rocks. So there's a tide table right at the very beginning of the walk, so hopefully you can read tide tables. But yeah, just check your tides, make sure that it is not high tide, or you won't be able to get around. Or even worse still, you'll get around on the way out there, and then on the way back you won't be able to get back. Anyway, make sure you look at the tides. So here's the tide chart. April the 13th we are. So low tide at 8:30 this morning and high tide at 5:15 tonight. We should have no problems. I did mention a little while ago that we were looking forward to doing a walk on the beach. Here we go. Looks like we've got a nice little walk along the beach here. Beautiful. Okay. We leave the beach and head inland a little bit here. You can go around the headland, but the rocks are very slippery, so we're just very aware of the fact We've still got a couple of months to kill here. Don't want to spend a month of that in hospital with a crook knee. It's quite amazing how much I miss the sound of waves breaking on the beach. Okay, so we're on the track to the ruins now. Oh yeah, there they are, just in there.
Yeah, I know. I'm more concerned about the snakes.
Oh yeah, we saw a couple of snakes yesterday, little baby tiger snake and a white-lipped snake on the pathway out to the south coast.
Today is a much nicer day.
Yeah, they might be out sunning themselves today, so
So you send me first.
yeah, well, so the ruins here are the ruins of the pilot's house. He lived in a timber hut for many years, and then they finally built a brick house for him. Just shows you how small it is. So there were 2 rooms. This is the bedroom, and that's the entranceway in the middle, and then the far side of that was the living room and the fireplace. They're saying in its prime there were over 1,000 men working on the whaling boats here.
I'm not walking through there.
I'll lead the way. Yeah, it's obviously not many people come through here. Death lilies, hope that's not an omen. Apparently he grew cabbages here. 12,000 cabbages a year.
Here.
Apparently. Well, for the most southern accessible part of Tasmania, it's certainly turned on a stunner today for us. It is absolutely beautiful.
Not quite beach swimming weather.
No, I stuck my feet in the water before, and I can tell you it's definitely not swimming weather down here. But this is just stunning. You're not going to see the detail, unfortunately, in the video, but the mountains in the background are just beautiful. You could imagine the convicts that were entrapped down here or imprisoned down here, looking into the highlands there, and you just think there's no way out. There's no way we can get out of here. That's the end of the walk. That was a
beautiful little walk.
It was a gorgeous walk. We've been longing for a nice, relaxing, easy walk along the beach, and that was perfect. Fitted the bill perfectly. So we might go and pack up. We've got a few power issues at the moment. We just haven't got enough charge in the batteries over the last few days, so we'll go and pack up and head back to New Norfolk, and might even stop at Geeveston on the way and get a scallop pie. See how we go. Scallop pie was beautiful, by the way. Geeveston Bakery, really good. So I'm going to wrap it up there. That's it's been another epic episode, unfortunately. So I hope it's not too long and boring for you. But from here, the next episode will probably be Bruny Island, and maybe a little bit of South Arm, which is just on the eastern side of Hobart. Certainly Bruny Island, maybe even touch on the Tasman Peninsula. Boy, we loved the Tasman Peninsula. That was just beautiful. So thanks for joining us. Really hope you enjoyed the episode, and we hope to catch you again in episode 6. See you then. Catch you later.